Hello, fellow Factorians, and welcome back to my Pyanodons challenge run. During the last episode, I was engaged in being a coal miner, or reminer, as I was replacing my dirty, sooty, ashy burner coal mines with fresh new electric ones. This added a lot more resiliency, and also because I'm mostly running off of geothermal and wind, it makes me more efficient. I also got started on making brakes and shafts a thing in my base, although I didn't quite get the caravan set up right, and I need to tweak that. During the hands-off period, when I wasn't idly decorating little bits of my base, I was looking around at a lot of it and finding errors. I also set up what I want to do to stockpile a large number of train tracks, and hopefully I'll get that going, as I'd like to cover my base in rails, or rather, well, I've got a plan. We'll see if it works out. Also, it's going to be Thanksgiving holidays around here, so I might not post an episode for a couple of days extra, or maybe I'll post more of them. We'll see. Anyway, on to the main episode. So let's get into it. First, remember to jump into hands-on mode. Then, let's start fixing stuff. Here's the first fix that I need to make. It is the fact that I am getting ash into my system there somehow. A very, very small amount of ash. But if I'd gotten much more, it would have clogged me up. So I need to take care of that. I also need to send iron up there somehow. Now let's fix up this caravan thing that I'd left a little bit broken here. What I need to do is I need to put in a wait here of, let's say, 30 seconds, but then take this check mark off. What this is going to do is the interrupts, I don't know how familiar you are with the interrupt system, but the interrupts only fire when you are leaving a station, in this case, when the caravan is leaving the outpost. So it wasn't checking the interrupts at all until there's a chance for it to leave. Now it'll start cycling. It will do a 30-second wait, finish with this check box off, and go ahead and do the interrupt. And in fact, it already did its thing and got some more materials. I need to find the other caravan that is having the same problem. And this one has a second problem where this interrupt that I'd set up was wrong. It should only be looking for the copper being empty. So let's save that and then add the wait. 30 seconds is like, I figure like it's not going to burn the 5 stacks in 30 seconds, and if it is, well, that's a little bit too fast. So now this shaft system should start running. Also, I need to improve the assemblers here. I wanted these to be tier 2, that's why I had 3 and 2, otherwise the solder ones are faster than the shafts need them to be. Let's fix that. Next fix is down here somewhere. Ignore the fact that the decorations there are still very much in progress. So, down here somewhere there's an underground that is set up incorrectly. Also, I would like to have that little bit of iron mined out, so I'm going to go ahead and set up for it. Alright. Here, this underground is backwards, so half this line wasn't working. I'm going to clean up this iron patch and then be on to the next fix. Oh, the next fix is right here. Need to remove this enable disable because so this iron that is coming in to actually feed the mall is blocked when there's too much when I'm getting close to full on small parts and iron back here. And that close to full is deliberate because I want this iron to be able to void and fill up the missing small parts that could go into this chest. But then this was also set to stop at the point roughly when these stopped, so I wasn't voiding all the iron, and that's why this line backed up. Not really a big deal because this is only voiding iron oxide and soot from this part of the base, and like that's not critical to making science, but best to deal with it. So, on to the next fix. Next fix is, if you can tell, this is an actual ghost belt and should not have been. And then the fact that in my coal refactoring here, I missed coal line, so I need to add a little bit more coal mining here somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to string it through, but I'll figure that out and be right back. Alright, that's fixed. Although these boilers don't really need to run that often, so again, not mission critical. One thing I want to do here is, I've noticed my coal gas is not running well enough to keep this full of hot air all the time. Sometimes it is running low. So I want to, because I'm going to have a proper fix for that situation, as soon as I get the oil burners, which you can use to burn any liquid fuel and turn it into steam, I don't want to like tinker with my system anymore. It actually worked well enough because the glass works behind it that don't use hot air, the problem fell through to them, and they took up the slack, which is exactly as intended. But it meant that for a while I was getting less efficiency out of my glass production here because the hot air recipe is the more efficient one. So rather than trying a significant long-term fix, all I'm going to do is take the leftover petri dishes that I had buffered up from way back when and supplement production with those. And that should mean a little bit more, a little bit less molten glass gets expended. Oops, didn't quite grab enough. Okay. I guess I will leave the rest here. Next fix. Up here, I didn't connect the liquid fuel for the gas furnaces that I wanted. Again, really didn't break anything, but that actually does help void a little bit more coal gas to make hot air, so best to do it. Okay. While I'm here, I also need to fix a wire here. There's a caravan that is, well, I guess he went off to get food at the moment, but he was going nuts because all of these caravan outposts weren't wired together. And his condition checks to make sure that he's got more than 90k total here. In other words, a full load could be dropped in if it's below that total. But with one of them not wired in, he was constantly thinking that he needed to put ash into those caravan outposts when he actually couldn't. Yeah, there's a missing caravan here for ash, and I'd also like to maybe set up a caravan for this iron plate, so I'll do both of those. And simple as that. Once you have the interrupt set up, it really makes it much faster to use the caravans, which is why it's worth the setup cost for those. On to the next fix. Also, let's knock out these things from my task list. Did the switch to acetylene power last time. I removed a limit on the small parts assembler. Fixed the coal stack in coal patch 1. Fix the missing belt and iron one, fix the copper interrupt. Go up here while I'm doing this task list. Cleaned up most of the old petri dishes. I need to do something here while I'm right here. I need to make it so that guaranteed for sure this automation science build is running preferentially over when it's delivered here. So this buffer is going to fill up real soon. It's almost full, and I want to make sure that all of the automation science from this, which makes almost but not quite half belt, gets put onto the near side and consumed by these labs. And then this can act as a backup. I'm okay with it. This will produce consistent production. The caravan delivered ones will be inconsistent production, so I'd rather not depend on the inconsistent production. I have some iron ore in my inventory. Let's drop that off and go north to do next fix. I also clean up my task list. Oops. I fixed the caravans to weight cycle for the brakes and shafts. I fixed the bad iron ground in Iron 2. I didn't do treated wood prioritization. I kind of want to set up a prioritized depot for that. I fixed the automation science flow. And this is the item that on here. Remove the iron oxide reburning at coal 2, which it's the system. This was to reduce the pressure on this belt, but then I also reduced it by getting rid of a whole lot of ash production by doing those electric miners, so might as well get rid of this. So that caravan outpost becomes necessary. This solid separator only job was then to avoid ash here. I was thinking I could just side load the belt. Side loading the belt is more efficient than using for UPS purposes, I mean, than using a splitter. All right, this caravan has a whole bunch of materials in them. I'll get rid of it. I'm not going to cheat by putting caravans loaded with items in my inventory, but I will find a new job for him soon. Fix the missing wire in the third planter box, so treated wood prioritization can wait. I'm going to do this and also set up train track production, which is an actual job and not a fix. An actual thing that I want to do rather than repair chore. Alright, so let's get into it. First part of what I want to do with that is to make a whole bunch of... I also want to do this. Now this line can be connected on both sides to bring iron ore to the steel build. I'm going to need a lot of steel soon. Next, I need to work on making a whole lot of solder. My lead build makes a full belt of lead plates, but I'm only sending a half belt down, so I figured I'd make some solder up here. Solder uses up more lead than tin, so I think it's okay to set it up like this. Yeah, I just need to set up the system and be right back. Alright, that's done. Yeah, took a little longer than I wanted because I realized I'd accidentally flipped the way the lead and tin were on the belt that I'm sending down here, and that would have been a mistake. Alright, let's keep working on train tracks. So yeah, I want to pile up a whole bunch of them when I start doing my train transition, because yeah, my base is going to spread dramatically over the landscape. Here's where I'm going to build the train tracks. Doesn't look like a lot of production here, but it definitely is. The train tracks are another thing that are more limited by inserter speed than they are by machine crafting speed, so yeah, this is it. And they take a lot of ingredients. They take stone, treated wood, bolts, steel plate, and solder. And if you look at the crafting speed indicator over the right, 10 solder per second, this tier 1 assembler could use if I could actually insert fast enough to do that. Of course I cannot, so instead I will be managing as many as I can, but that would also make 6 train tracks per second, and that is massive overkill. So I'm going to be okay if I make 2 train tracks per second. And I was dealing with the treated wood prioritization as well as working on train tracks, so I can knock that item out of my task list. So let's see. I should have a caravan coming in here with treated wood shortly. I have steel and stone. But yeah, and then I will have bolts as soon as these assemblers get some fuel. So yeah, that's good. I think I'm all set here. And hopefully my train tracks will start getting made. So the next thing I'm going to do is mine out the bootstrap base's stone patch. As I said before, I think I want to basically clean up the bootstrap base's ore. don't want to see any more of it anywhere except for the coal and native flora. The coal will, of course, get mined out, but that's actually doing something significantly productive, and other stuff is not so much. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh, and look, that's probably more faster than I expected. Didn't really figure out the exact inserter speeds here, but yeah, it's still pretty fast. Okay, fantastic. I mean, I know the exact inserter speeds. I just don't know how that would have ratioed out perfectly. So let's mine out this stone patch. I got to reroute a few things and be back after I've done this. Alright, and by no means is that a perfect mining job. It was more just set up to make sure that I could actually touch most of the patch. I'm okay with it slowly getting drained out, as long as it does all get drained out eventually. Give me a nice clean area in the bootstrap base to do a little bit more with. Now I just need to hook up some carbolic oil, and yeah, it should start working. Do have excess carbolic oil. I know that it's occasionally getting voided, so yeah, I just want to overflow here to say 30%, and yeah, send some down the line. Find out where it's breaking. Hold on. Okay, now stone is flowing, and I just have to set up some kerogen voiding. I'm going to burn it boilers, and I'll be right back after I've done that. Okay, cool. So I have some tracks flowing. Looks like solder is my bottleneck, which is not unexpected. Let's see if I can make a little more. How's it going up here? Looks like I could add some more lead to it, so I will be back after I've done that. Okay, now that is addressed. So I have a problem with Pi 1. It's decaying off of its target, and I need to go figure that out. Oops, this is an old line. I can get rid of this. So yeah, let me figure out what my Pi 1 problem is, because it shouldn't be under 220. Maybe it's temporary? Hopefully not. I mean, hopefully it is. It looks to me like I've got a hot air problem, so what I'm going to try is maybe the Petri dishes here are counterproductive in the sense that by adding them, I've removed a big source of liquid fuel voiding, which is, I have to avoid liquid fuel to make hot air. So liquid fuel gets voided better by these and also by the extra production of molten glass. But I've got one idea off the top of my head of how to add some additional liquid fuel voiding, so I'm going to take care of that after I connect these stone mines. I should also add maybe like a second. Oh, this has got two lines coming. Yeah, okay, so I'll connect my carbolic better and then go deal with liquid fuel. Okay, I've added a couple of additional ways to change how my liquid fuel avoiding works. I've connected, I've added a little bit more naphthalene and anthracene voiding, but also I'm connecting up my gas furnaces here to the fuel voiding line. So They won't only run on syngas. Hopefully that'll help catch things up. But yeah, it's going to take a minute, even if this worked. And the next task that I actually wanted to work on is going to help the situation regardless, because what I want to work on is adding more aluminum mining. Aluminum mining uses up a lot of coal gas, so that's going to be useful for me. So yeah, might as well get started on that. And either the fixes that I make then or this aluminum mining will help the problem out. Okay, I've installed some aluminum mining, and my Pi 1 is catching up, but my automation science is jammed, and that's basically because Pi 1 was jammed, so wasn't enough science coming through to burn up enough automation science to keep ahead of where I wanted to be at, and it's catching up as well now that those two systems are working better, or at least let's hope it's working better, because it's getting toward the end of the episode. I still have some time, but I don't really want to deal with emergency science problems this late in the episode. Let's reset the science alert and hope that it's over my limits. Yeah, my one is definitely catching up pretty fast. Yeah, I just need the things to flow through. Now, aluminum is potentially going to suck up so much coal gas that I won't be able to keep up with it, so I better remember to make this valve only be overflow, I think. 30. Let's make it 30. Because yeah, I only want it to top up from this system if it's over this limit, this top up limit. Okay, let's hope that that's going to work out. The plumbing is getting more and more confusing as I add more and more junctions and interrupts and so on. Yeah, Pi 1 is going to take a little bit of time to catch up. So I'm going to work on finishing out the seaweed build, maybe this stone and kerogen voiding system. So I'll be back after I've installed some of that. Alright, that's my seaweed hooked up and my stone production here. I chose to make some local stone here because there's a patch right here, and I can just hook up the kerogen to that stone patch and make plenty. And then I'll just have to assign a caravan to making sure that I avoid the ash from the kerogen. I made a new little design for direct feeding. Oh, okay, I need to make sure this is actually direct feeding ash. But yeah, the idea here is to direct feed ash to the system. You disconnected from power. Oh yeah, because you shift click a power pole and it disconnects. And drag over the ash. Okay, that's better. Anyway, I made a little design for direct feeding ash from boilers into caravan outpost, which is yeah, probably one of the best ways to avoid ash without putting it onto a belt if you're putting it into the caravan system in the first place. And why do you have no... Oh, because you don't have water. Okay, I guess I need to add some water. I'll be right back after I've done that. Alright, and this will stop running pretty soon, because I'm not actually using the stone, nor am I using the seaweed, but it'll at least show that the system is working for now. Fortunately, science is also caught up, so in good shape to end the episode whenever I'm ready to. Oh, this needs water as well, so I will hook up some water here. I decided to put in a little guard. I know my coal gas total on the radar network, and yeah, I can just not feed this aluminum build if it starts getting low. But it's not low now, and plenty of aluminum is being made. Probably didn't need all of these, all of those furnaces. Am I not making more? Guess I'm actually low on coal gas, but I'm not. I need to fix this valve. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I'll just depend on this to limit my coal gas rather than a valve up there. That should work out better. Yeah, now I've got plenty of aluminum flowing through. Fantastic. So let's check my other builds. I didn't do a great job of that last time. Let's make sure I did it this time. Solder is still slow. And in this case, I think it's because I don't have much steam. I could add more steam from boilers here, but I think it's better for me to just wait for oil burners. That'll be a big steady supply, and I don't plan to use those rails for a little while. So yeah, it's okay for one episode for it to be kind of slow. Brakes and shafts seem to be getting made. Let's see how many I've collected. 300 and 150. That's really good. What else? Aluminum is working. This will not be working for a long time. That's okay. I'll check it when it is. And feels like this episode didn't get much done. A lot of fixing. Maybe I will set up this. I'm going to... so when I actually get to Varax Mark II, actually that's one thing to look at. Technology. I was thinking of going for rubber next, but to do rubber I need more latex. So I think it is time to head for Mark II Varax now. Where are they? Okay, yeah. 3 more technologies. That's not that far away, so I will have to prep quite a bit for that. So anyway, as I was saying, once I get to the next stage, I'm going to need a lot more carbon dioxide production, among other things. So I might as well set up those high-pressure furnaces and the coke lines that feed them. So I'll be back after I've done that. Alright, and that will be 90 high-pressure furnaces worth of carbon dioxide production. Almost 3 lanes worth. It's actually... I've ratioed this so the 12 coke per second fits the number of high-pressure furnaces here. So, kind of a quick build there. Let's see, what else can I work on that will be useful soon? Actually, I think I probably should just end the episode. I'll have oil burners soon, and that'll give me a really useful thing to put together next episode. And then I can keep working on my road to 720 480. So hands-off mode is there. Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 episodes and I'll have Raux Mark II. So that was a lot of fun for me. Hope it was for you. See you next time.